So welcome to the first video in a series of however many it ends up being. In 2015 of me giving my take, my views, my opinions on what happens. Mostly on this channel it is professional wrestling, sports entertainment, and this video is no different. Talking today about New Japan Pro Wrestling, Wrestle Kingdom 9, WWE, TNA, and a few dates for local fans upcoming this year. Because I'm going to start off with a bit of a bumper video. You'll see obviously by now how long this video goes. I was going to start with TNA, one of the most talked about promotions in 2014, but news broke just last night that the WWE network will finally be making its way to the UK. It will be finally available in the UK and Ireland 2 weeks from today on January the 19th. Now, back in October, we were supposed to be having it launched then. It was delayed a month till November the 3rd at 8 PM. But then just 20 minutes before the launch, for reasons that have still not been officially confirmed, although myself and a lot of people, we think that it was to do with the broadcast partner of WWE here in the UK, Sky. It was scrubbed. It was aborted at the pretty much last minute. But last night, WWE.com revealed in a video message from Vince McMahon himself that the network will finally hit the UK and Ireland shores, as I said, on January the 19th. Now this will be, as the usual network at this moment, no commitment. The prices will be for the UK in pounds, £9.99 per month, and in Ireland, well, in the Republic of Ireland, where they use the euro, it will be €12.99. I'd say it's a reasonable price. I mean, a lot of people are obviously comparing the currencies, and £9.99 is more than $9.99. But there is some currency loss actually when you go from pounds to dollars. I think really when it comes to business and various things for WWE. So it's kind of keeping with their advertisement logo of $9.99 for the UK fans. This has been a long time in the making. Obviously, as I said there, it was been delayed a few times. So it's almost nearly 11 months since the launch in the United States. The setup for the network is very good, though. According to WWE and Vince McMahon on that video, we will get the full access. It will remain part of WWE.com. We will have the full access to all the on-demand video library. We will have the live streaming, or at least the constant streaming on the network of whatever programs are scheduled. And the great news is that we will be able to watch the WWE pay-per-views, or special events as some people are calling them now, live on the WWE network. Now this was a concern to many people, including myself, because the Sky, who are the satellite service that air WWE programming here in the UK, their deal has changed from this January. We used for many years. I've explained it before, but just for the sake of recapping all this, to explain the position where UK fans are, for many years, for over 30 years now, at least nearly 30 years, most of the all of the pay-per-views at the start of this 30-year period were free. You obviously had to pay to subscribe to the Sky Sports channels, but you'd paid no additional fee to watch pay-per-views, and that means including Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, Survivor Series, SummerSlam, the big major events. But gradually over the past about 15 years now, we've had to pay for more and more pay-per-views. More and more of them have gone onto the Sky box office service, which means you would need to purchase them. And to be honest, it was a bit annoying because you only actually had them on your Sky box for about 2 weeks. So you could watch them as many times as you wanted, but after about the 2 week period, it would delete itself, which is a bit of a shame. But now the since TLC in December, every pay-per-view that Sky will be having will be on their box office service, and I believe it's not been officially announced by Sky. The prices is going up for the pay-per-views. I think it's £20 for an average pay-per-view, and I think it's something like £25 for WrestleMania. But according to Vince McMahon, according to WWE, we will be able to pay our monthly subscription and save a lot of money by watching it on the WWE Network. I've said it before, I want the WWE Network to succeed, for various reasons. I won't bore people to death by going into them, but I want to educate fans on the history of the industry, whether it's, you call it pro wrestling, sports entertainment, for the simple usage, it's just so many reasons. I think the network is a good thing, especially, I know, again, I have said this many times before, but people have different opinions on the fact that WWE owns all of the footage, the video libraries of various companies that they do. At least they're doing something with the footage. They are not leaving it to collect dust on old shelves and it's never seen again by anybody other than WWE owners or employees, or the wrestlers who wish to actually study the footage. It's great that a lot of it is being brought out there, whether it's on DVD, Blu-ray, whether it's whatever, and now on the network as well. It's great that all this stuff is actually being used, and I'm looking forward to January 19th. On January 19th, you will be able to go, if you're in the UK and Ireland, onto WWE.com and sign up for the network. And no time it exactly has been announced. I believe so far. It might well be around about the 8 p.m., 9 p.m. Time slot. I don't know. No time has officially been announced as it will be live at this particular hour on January 19th. But really looking forward to finally being able to enjoy the WWE Network here in the UK. Now moving on to TNA, and that's what I was going to start with. Like I said, like it or not, TNA, Impact Wrestling, has been one of the most talked about promotions in professional wrestling for 2014. Good or bad, whether it be criticised or praised, Impact Wrestling has been one of the most talked about promotions in the world of professional wrestling. Now, they have announced over the festive period the re-signings of several of their talents. Now, we all know that TNA are starting their brand new contract with Destination America. It's happening in approximately 48 hours, 2 days. They will do their live launch show at the Manhattan Center in New York to celebrate their first show under their contract with Destination America. And over the festive period, they have announced several of their wrestling talents being re-signed to contracts. Obviously, wait until they got a new channel and we also would be able to deal with the finances of however much money they will have, and however much they would be able to offer their contracted performers. Well, they have announced, obviously, Kurt Angle. They have also announced that they have re-signed Madison Rayne, the Monster Abyss, Ken Anderson, Jesse Goddard, EC3, Ethan Carter III, and just a short time ago, they announced the American Wolves, Eddie Edwards and Davey Richards, to also have signed new contracts to remain with Impact Wrestling. Now, obviously, TNA, they're still in the stage where they're doing a lot of pre-taped shows, so obviously spoilers, results are still going to be out there. No plans, I believe just now, for them to go and do any of their shows live. They're very much in a kind of WWE early 90s stage where they're pre-taping pretty much all of their television stuff. It's a bit of a shame because you obviously you get the spoilers, you get the results out there. I know obviously goes online. A lot of people talk about put the results up. But hopefully TNA can actually together some really good shows. Obviously they're coming over to the UK. I won't be attending, but they're doing tapings across the UK. I'm really looking forward to seeing the broadcast of the Glasgow tapings. I know that there will feature Scottish wrestling star Grado versus Al Snow. That match so close to happening this past October in Scotland. Unfortunately, due to other commitments with Grado and initially Al Snow, the match did not happen. Unfortunately, it was so close. It was signed. It was ready to happen, but unfortunately, other commitments with Al Snow took Al Snow to Japan for Bound for Glory instead of being here in Scotland. So it never actually happened. But I think the reaction will be good for Grado. All 6 of the British Boot Camp finalists will be taking part in the UK tour. And hopefully the television tapings, actually, not just like dark matches, hopefully they will get a further chance to impress those at TNA Impact Wrestling to see whether they can even get a contract out with the winner of that competition, Mark Andrews. So obviously congratulations to Mark Andrews. I thought he put in some good performances. I don't really know too much about him, but I haven't really watched a lot of his stuff other than really the boot camp stuff. But I'm looking forward to seeing what the 6 finalists on the British Boot Camp do during the UK tour. Like I said, hopefully they'll take part in the show so we can see them throughout the period when Impact Wrestling plays those taped shows after the tour. I think it's really good that Dixie Carter is coming out and they're making moves, at least. Obviously, we don't know what will happen with Impact Wrestling this coming year. I think they've got the possibility to put on some good shows. They've got some great talent. I wish them well. Hopefully on Wednesday they'll kick off well. Obviously for fans in the UK, it's staying with Challenge TV. I'm not sure whether the time or the date will change. I think it's still Sunday at 9 PM for Impact Wrestling at the moment, for the foreseeable future. But looking forward to seeing the new era of TNA, see what they can do. Now, moving on, about Wrestle Kingdom 9. Now, I've only watched the first about 3 matches of this show, and my initial thoughts are it's a really good and decent show. Find it online. The replays are happening all throughout the month of January. You go search Global Force Wrestling on Facebook. You'll find the links there to go to watch it and purchase the replay. I think that, to be honest, I've never been a big fan of Jeff Jarrett, so I think him being on the card in the 6-man tag team match was more basically to do with the Global Force Wrestling thing instead of him really earning a spot. I think the opening match was really good. It's kind of a little bit of a typical junior heavyweight tag team match, but some great athleticism by the teams involved. Forever Hooligans, the Young Bucks, Red Dragon, Time Splitters. There was some really expertly performed aerial and acrobatic spots in the match. I've always been a fan of the smaller athletes, the junior heavyweights, the cruiserweights, if you will. I think they put on a really good match to start the main pay-per-view. I haven't had the chance. I don't know whether it's available to watch online. The New Japan kind of Royal Rumble type match that they had on the pre-show. Not sure, but hope that was won by Yuji Nagata. I think from what I've heard, the rest of the show is exceptional. Looking forward to probably end up being out tomorrow, sitting down and watching the rest of the show. First three matches are good. I'm not going to give away the results in case any people have not watched it, but I think the show so far it's really good. The commentary, I managed to find it online with the commentary with Jim Ross and Matt Striker. I wasn't too sure when they announced this pairing. I knew that Jim Ross would do a good job on commentary. I wasn't sure what his partnership with Matt Striker would be like. Matt Striker does a couple of points that I've heard so far echo Jim Ross a little bit in what his comments, but the commentary has been excellent. I know a little bit more than some fans watching Wrestle Kingdom 9 about New Japan. I know a little bit more about the promotion, having kind of kept an eye on the promotion the last few years and watched the Wrestle Kingdoms, and kept up a little bit through the magazines and online, with a little bit of what they're doing. But I think they're explaining things very well. It's very basics. They're really taking it back, as Jim Ross said, to the introductions, taking it back to who these people are, not getting too much into their history, the ongoing feuds, and explaining the whole feuds. And there are couple of feuds, obviously, because it's their WrestleMania. It's where their feuds take place. They're kind of blow-offs to their feuds. They do They do a really good job of explaining a little bit of the background, a little bit about who these guys are. I'm really looking forward to seeing the semi and main event. I've heard those two are possible 5-star matches, which are really, really good matches. I know Okada and Tanahashi, who are the main event, have had some excellent matches in the past, including previous Wrestle Kingdom matches and other events. I think that is going to be a fantastic match, and certainly I'll sit down tomorrow to watch the rest of Wrestle Kingdom 9. I think, honestly, if it is as good as people are saying, and I have to say that Wrestle Kingdom 9 has received so far a very positive reaction. I think it's really good. I think it's a step forward for New Japan. I know they've launched their own on-demand service, which is entirely in Japanese right now. I know there are some plans to launch an English language version, and I do hope, and this is not racist, but sometimes the translations of Japanese websites, you do have to figure it out if you use Google Translate or another or whatever service it is, and you translate it. Sometimes the sentences don't quite make sense. Hopefully somebody can work with New Japan Pro Wrestling on that. Perhaps even Global Force Wrestling can help them with that, with the translations. As I said, it's been very well received. Looking forward to seeing the rest of the show tomorrow. But what I've seen, it's been good. 3 opening matches. As I said, really looking forward to sitting down tomorrow, and I will give my opinion. Obviously, as many other YouTube channels have been sitting down, putting their views across of the show. When I do actually watch the whole of the show, I will quickly do a quick review of the show. But overall, I'm impressed so far. Hearing the rest of the show is really good, and even steps up a gear. I will certainly make time in my schedule tomorrow, my oh so busy schedule is not really, tomorrow, to sit down and watch the rest of Wrestle Kingdom 9. Now, obviously, Wrestle Kingdom 9 is is the first, as usual, the first major show of the year. And it's amazing the amount of different wrestling shows, promotions that are going to be doing shows and different projects in 2015. From Nigel McGuinness's LA Fights, and you can go check that out on Kickstarter, and just search Nigel McGuinness on Facebook, and on his I think it's nigelwrestling.com. There's so many different promotions that will be doing major shows this year, and just for local for Scottish fans watching this, there are obviously tremendous amount of companies here in Scotland. I always say support independent wrestling. There is a tremendous amount of independent wrestling companies in Scotland doing shows. I mean, I'm just looking through them. A lot of tremendous. I mean, I could sit here for literally a couple of hours, 2 to 3 hours, listing the various companies. I'm including a couple, but I would say also check out companies like Pride, Scottish Wrestling Alliance. There is Firestorm Pro Wrestling. I believe they'll have a show upcoming soon. There's Showcase Wrestling. There's Rockin' Wrestling. Who else is there? BCW. There's so many wrestling companies doing shows. I'll run down a few shows, a couple of companies doing shows. Like I said, you can all you can find details of various shows on the company's Facebook pages and websites. But first, I'm going to run down a couple of companies' shows. Firstly, Insane Championship Wrestling, ICW. They're doing another UK tour. It's called Insane Entertainment System Tour. It's from the 15th of February to the 3rd of May. These are the dates confirmed. ICW have said that there may be other dates added to this tour. Check Insane Championship Wrestling on Facebook and insanewrestling.co.uk for any more dates and any other details regarding these shows. The shows confirmed so far: Liu Kang wins on the 15th of February at Fat Sam's in Dundee. The 22nd of February, International Superstar Wrestling Deluxe at the City Nightclub in Edinburgh. On the 28th of March, Blow in the Cartridge, O2 Academy, Newcastle. Blow in the Cartridge is when you used to get the old Mega Drive and Master System cartridges. Sometimes they wouldn't click, they wouldn't play until it was just because of the dust. The lower cartridge that used to stick out of the plastic case, and sometimes you had to wipe them and blow them and dust them off before they would work. So that's a really good actual reference there. 12th of April, Boom Shakalaka, in parentheses, He's on Fire, at the O2 Academy in Liverpool. 18th of April, Paperboy, which is obviously an old, very famous video game, at the O2 Academy in Birmingham. The 26th of April, Up, Down, Left, Right, AC Start, which I'm sure is a cheat code for one game. I'm sure I recognise that code. It may even be a genuine cheat code. At the O2 Academy in Sheffield. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a genuine cheat code. We used to get these. Where are the days of the cheat codes gone? But anyway, again, 26th of April, Up, Down, Left, Right, AC Start at the O2 Academy in Sheffield. And the last one confirmed at this time, Flawless Victory, really at ICW's home of The Garage in Glasgow. That's the 3rd of May, Flawless Victory at The Garage in Glasgow. Now there are so many, like I said, so many other companies. I'll take just a couple of Reckless Intent Wrestling events happening. There's, I think I counted about over 20 events happening. About 30 events. So there are about at least about 20 odd events happening for Reckless Intent Wrestling. You can find them on Facebook as well. Just check Reckless Intent, RECKLESSINTENT, On January 25th, they've got their Sunday Slam. On February 7th, Reckless Intent 3. No Going Back on March the 7th. April the 4th, Never Back Down. These are all at the Reckless Intent unit in Livingston in West Lothian. Apart from Reckless Intent 3 is actually at the Mooreston Scout Hall, although that is still in Livingston. They have on the 2nd of May, Battle of West Lothian Night 2. The previous night is Night 1. They have May Sunday Slam on May the 17th. On June 13th they are at the Blackburn Gala Day, which is turning into an annual tradition for Reckless Intent. And the Blackburn Gala is also in West Livingston. They're all around. Check them out in Livingston, West Lothian, which is kind of Edinburgh way for those who are not sure where that is. To August 1st, they have Cruel Summer at their unit in Livingston. Party in the park they will be at on September 6th. October 18th, October Sunday Slam. November 7th, Over the Top. November 15th, November Sunday Slam. In December they have two shows, Reckless Intent and Lights Out on the 5th of December, and the last show so far scheduled of the year on December 13th, December Sunday Slam. Now that's not all of their shows. Again, check out Reckless Intent Wrestling on Facebook. You can see their whole list of shows. There's about 20 odd shows coming up in 2015 for them. That's just a few of their shows. Scottish Wrestling Entertainment actually in a second. WrestleZone up in Aberdeen, if you're up in Aberdeen way, they have an amazing list of shows. It's an extremely, looking at some of the companies schedule for 2015, I said I could literally sit down here for about 3 hours listing a lot of their shows. Some of the WrestleZone shows. There is the January 17th at the Clover Leaf Hotel in Aberdeen. There's March 21st, the Northern Hotel, also in Aberdeen. Their special Regal Rumble show. They have on April 18th, they will be at the Ashdale Hall in Westhill. On May 23rd, they will be at the Beach Ballroom for Aberdeen Anarchy, and I know, I believe I am absolutely correct in this, that is their at least one of their big shows of the year. They will be joined there at that show by former WWE superstar The Hurricane, yes, aka Sugar Shane Helms. The Hurricane, WWE's former resident superhero, will be there alongside another yet to be announced former WWE superstar. Other shows include September 19th at Longmore Hall in Keith, September 26th at the Brecon City Hall, November 7th at the Stewart's Hall in Huntly, and they finish off the year Saturday, December 5th at the Summerhill Hotel for their Christmas Chaos show. Again, that's not just all of their shows. Check out WrestleZone, WRESTLEZONE on Facebook. You'll be able to find their whole entire list of shows there. Finally, Scottish Wrestling Entertainment. They have a tremendous amount of shows as well. It's so busy this year when it comes to Scottish wrestling shows. So many shows. Every month SWE will be at the Arler Complex here in Dundee. It's a great venue. Like I said in the Look at Scottish Wrestling video I put up now a few weeks ago, it really is becoming such a beloved venue for local wrestling fans. It's, as I said in that video, you get to know where the wrestling is. So when SWE announce an uprising, unless they say otherwise, it will be at the Arler Complex in Dundee. So we all know where to go to catch the local wrestling scene in Dundee. They've got their first uprising show will be on January 31st at the Adler Complex. They've continuous uprising on February 28th, March 28th, April the 25th. In May, on the 15th and 16th, they will be doing their SWE European Championship Tournament, nights 1 and 2. That will be to determine the SWE European Champion. The winner in 2013 was Rob Cage. I don't know whether he will be there to defend this title. I'm not sure. He actually won it at, I believe it was Hell for Lycra 10. So 2013's Hell for Lycra. Hell for Lycra 10, he captured the SWE European Championship. So whether this will be decided over these 2 nights, or whether the winner will, whether the finalists will go on to Hell for Lycra, not sure what the setup of this tournament will be as yet. SWE will announce the details near the time. Then also Uprising May the 30th, June the 27th, July 25th. On August the 29th, it's their biggest show of the year. That will be not at the Adler Complex, but in the famous Caird Hall, a real home for professional wrestling for many, many years. Scottish Wrestling Entertainment will host their Hell for Lycra 12 event, titled Wrestling Comes Home, at the Caird Hall on August 29th. Now, there is normally a major guest at that show. For the last few years, it's been the likes of Chavo Guerrero, Roddy Piper, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase. Last year it was Road Warrior Animal, Dennis Stamp, Marty Jones, and Johnny Saint. What guests they'll bring in, who, however many, obviously we'll know more near the time. Normally it's around about February, March that we end up hearing the details of who the guests are, who's actually going to be appearing. But I'm looking forward to that one. It's their biggest show, where, like I said, like New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 9, where you get all the hot feuds. There's certainly several hot feuds, several hot wrestlers at the moment. LGT, the SWE champion Ian Ambrose, even the Jackal, the Sirens of SWE, Viper, Nikki Storm. There's so many top talents right now simmering in SWE. I'm sure it'll all boil over at the Caird Hall, which is a huge venue. Plenty of tickets will be available for that one. Really looking forward to what should be a great show. Then obviously that doesn't end the year. They go on. Uprisings continue at the Adler Complex in Dundee on likes of September 26th, October 31st, November the 28th, and their last show of the year is their annual SWE Uprising Seasons Beatings on December 12th. So that's just some of the shows. So I've gone on so long. That's just some of the shows here in Scotland. There's so many other companies, like I said, Scottish Wrestling Alliance, Pride, there's BCW, there's W3L, there's so many. There's Fierce Females, obviously, said the ICW. There's the Source Wrestling Showcase shows as well. Obviously, like I said, if just search for Scottish wrestling companies, you'll find them. You'll just Google them. You'll find out all the details of so the great companies in Scotland. As I said, Google your ones near you. If you're not in Scotland, if you're anywhere in the world, Google local. Google independent wrestling in whatever country you're in, and I'm sure you will be able to find a really decent company, a reputable and reliable company to attend on a regular basis to help support independent wrestling. So it's definitely going to be a good year, I think, this year. Like I said, so many great shows coming up. Hopefully some great guests. Hopefully I'll get a chance to meet some good talent apart from the SWE guys, and I don't know how many shows or where the shows are I'll get to this year. But it's going to be a good year, I think, for Scottish wrestling. The past couple of years, Scottish wrestling has fought to become a place on the map of worldwide wrestling. I think we're achieving it. I think it's going really well, and I think 2015 will be hopefully the year where Scottish wrestling, the entirety of Scottish wrestling, says to the world, we are here, look, take a look at our product, take a look at our professional wrestling, and enjoy it.